guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Kate and MJ, and for those who haven't been with us before, on this channel we raise awareness and we share our personal experiences when it comes to raising kids with special needs.
Yeah, that's what we do at the Beautiful Brains.
Yes.
So today we'll be talking about recognition of the early signs of autism.
Yeah.
Diagnosis, denial, and mourning the life that we imagined we'll have with Jaden.
Yeah.
Today we are focusing on our firstborn child, that's Jaden. And we will walk you through what we went through from not knowing and understanding that he has developmental challenges to knowing and then refusing to accept.
Yeah.
So, without much ado, so babe, tell us from the beginning, and do not sugarcoat, tell us as it is, the events that led towards Jaden's diagnosis.
Okay. So I'm just gonna start like from way back. So for me, growing up, I always, I always like thought about motherhood and how I'd be like a mom and all that stuff. So I really loved kids like from a very young age. So when the time came for me to have my own kids, I was really excited. I was actually really looking forward to the journey. But for me, unlike so many other people, the journey came to me very much early, I was only 19 when I got pregnant with Jaden, but hey, I was so excited about it, and I was actually looking forward to the whole experience of pregnancy and everything. So during the pregnancy period, it was just what we call a normal pregnancy, and the whole pregnancy I was there thinking, planning the things I'll do with this child, what I'll buy him. Can you imagine? I was even thinking of us going to the park, playing football, all these things. Basically, in all fairness, I was literally, let me say, enjoying the pregnancy as anyone else would, because it was normal. There was nothing, different about it that I can say, oh, maybe this, I should have noticed it. No. It was a very, very normal pregnancy.
I actually remember the first weeks of Jaden's pregnancy, and I was happy. I was going to be a dad.
I remember.
Yeah, everybody looks forward to that moment.
It was so funny because we were all happy.
Yeah, and babe, the way I love books.
Yeah.
I actually imagined reading stories to him.
Yeah.
And of course, reading storybooks together, having fun together.
Yeah.
But then, also, I was remembering that as a new dad, you're going to be changing nappies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a responsible dad. But anyway, it was an incredibly sobering experience then, knowing that you have impregnated someone. But then, I remember something you told me that, don't worry, we are going to learn how to be parents together.
It's all about learning. Yeah, so it was quite a good moment, if you ask me, and the fact that we were both so much into it, looking forward to, but we were scared, but really we didn't let like the fear really, we didn't let the fear get over us. And even I remember that, like the first weeks, I don't even think I was 2-3 weeks pregnant. We actually went and bought him a blue romper. I don't even know why we bought a blue romper. How did we know? How did we know it was going even to be a boy?
Science.
But we actually bought a blue romper, which he never wore. By the way, it was too small for him. It was so big when he was born. Oh my God.
Yeah. They are not so old memories, but they are good.
They are really good.
So anyway, go on, tell us.
So Jaden was born in 2016. Oh, I was so happy. But then, the whole journey was a very emotional one. Like, it was good and it was bad. The good thing is that the baby was healthy, happy. I remember when Jaden was born, we just cuddled the whole day. We were just there. The only bad thing is that, you weren't around. But then, hey, that didn't take away the joy. I really enjoyed, his company and him being there. So, so the first year, to me, everything seemed okay. He was a typical baby. Woke up for his feeds, he crawled on time. The only thing which I can say, maybe it was a bit of a Jaden walked at 9 months, which is not bad.
Very fast.
It's a very good thing. But I think that kind of should have told us something. There's maybe a part of his brain which is developing faster than That I don't know. I'm not an expert in that.
But we were happy.
But we were happy he was walking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that time we were in Kenya.
Yeah, we were in Kenya.
Yeah, we were just happy. He was just walking.
I remember I was working in my workstation and I saw a little boy.
He was so tiny.
Walking so quickly across the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Too soon, slow down.
Little one.
Yeah,
you are walking to work.
Yeah, it happened too fast.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was good. Like I can't say there was anything weird the first year. I don't know about you. What did we miss? I don't think. What did we miss? The only problem with the first year is that we were in between countries because me and Jaden then, we were living in England, you were living in Kenya. So I think that was the only thing, but I didn't notice anything. He was a very happy baby. What do you think?
Yeah, so, well, it was difficult because sometimes, you could come to Kenya and we could have this good family time.
Yeah.
And during those moments, I think because of the happiness of us being together, we did not focus much on what he is missing and what he is not missing.
Yeah.
We were just happy we
were just happy
family.
we are together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, baby, I think if there was a great time you really showed the motherhood and the leadership of the family.
Yeah.
It was during that time because I think you are the pillar actually we are where we are today because you did not let anything bring you in between you and the family.
No, I love us, I love us. Yeah.
It was brilliant the way you handled yourself in between those two countries and the movement, and my due it was in our early years of the marriage.
Yeah, wait, actually we weren't married yet because we got married that December, yeah? So this was like the first year.
Yeah.
And I know people are like, married? Yeah. I actually got married at 20.
and this is it's a long distance marriage.
Yeah, story for another day, I swear, because it's very long. And if we get into it, we'll actually not get into the topic that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
But it was a long distance marriage. For how long? Was it for 5 years? Yeah.
I don't even want it to
Don't judge us. Don't judge us.
So let's go back to the developmental milestones.
Yeah.
So you are in Kenya with the boys for I think we did on and off in Kenya for about 3 years.
Yeah.
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 And then
3 years actually. Yeah.
And then you came back to the UK and you are like, this boy needs to go to the nursery.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So yeah, when we came back to England, I was really happy because he was finally 2 and he could go to nursery. Now, mind you, he was 2. He wasn't speaking, but didn't bother me. Hey, he's 2 years and some months.
He was healthy, he was everything.
Yeah, he was healthy. He was the naughtiest boy you can think of, destroying my kitchen, picking all my pots and pans.
That's Jay.
That's Jay, So, but he wasn't speaking, but hey, a 2-year-old, So I was like, it's fine. Anyway, he's going to nursery, so he'll actually get to learn from the other kids, kids who are talking there. And hey, I have seen 2, 3-year-olds who are not speaking. But by the time they are 4, they are good. A lot happens in 1 year, by the way. A lot happens in 1 year. I think that's why I wasn't too bothered to rush and, worry about anything like that. Yeah. So that was it, like when we came. Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's in the nursery.
Yeah.
And he is interacting with the other kids. And you go drop him and pick him. Do you realize anything unusual between Jaden and the other kids, or what does even the nursery say about him?
These are 2-year-olds, 2, 3-year-olds. Okay, Jaden was in like I don't know whether it was called the preschool from when. These are like 2, 3-year-olds put together, and they are typical 2, 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
When they leave nursery, they're quite maybe upset. They're too tired.
Yeah,
they just want to go. Yeah, they just want to go home and sleep. So I wasn't worried. Oh, that one is talking. My JJ is not talking.
Yeah.
Nah, I was just like, okay, Jaden, come on, let's go. And mind you, but this time I'm also, let me say, kind of frustrated and lonely and, kind of, I've lost myself. So let me say, maybe there were some things I should have noticed that I didn't actually notice.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I wasn't really worried. So when that year when he was in nursery, okay, it was going okay. They were uploading pictures, and I remember we will joke. There was a picture I sent you, and I remember we will joke, hiya, Jaden sits at the back. He's a backbencher because I used to like sitting at the back in class, and we were laughing about it. Little did we know we was missing something there. So it seemed all right. And I remember normally in nurseries here in the UK, they do like this, let me call them catch-up meetings, yeah? And they update you on how your child is doing. But I gave Jaden some time because I did let them know, we were just back from Kenya.
Yeah.
So they understand maybe the child maybe speaks another language. So they give this child like time to understand their language before they actually call it to the nursery. So one day I get a phone call from the nursery manager, and she was so lovely, She was like, hi Kate, do you just want to pop in? We have a conversation about Jay. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm coming, I want to know what Jaden has been learning.
Your boy is nailing it.
He's killing it. So I'm like, yeah. I remember I dressed up, and Justin, that time he was still a baby, prepared Justin, and we went in there. And so I get in there, and there's her. There is like I think they're called key workers. There's the key worker, and then there's another lady. I can't remember what her role was, but she was also really nice, And she was like, are there things, the way they ask nicely?
Yeah.
Are there things you have noticed? Hey, I'm like, things? What do you mean by things? I'm like, to me, he seems like a
normal boy.
A normal boy, you know. He is doing very well, and he's taking in everything. So I wasn't worried. And so they were like, how do you two communicate at home? I'm the mom. I don't need my child to tell me nothing. He doesn't even need to speak for me to know what he wants. I already know what my baby wants.
Yeah, I remember those times when
before
the boy is making different cries, and then
like,
you tell me, what? He needs milk.
Cry, he needs milk.
He needs diaper change.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So for me, we had our own methods of communicating, and it worked for us. Jaden was never frustrated. He was well fed. He was chubby. But then, hey, I think we missed something there. We kind of adapted to Jaden's way of life. Yeah. So I kind of had put him on a routine. Yeah. So he didn't have to ask me for anything, Yeah. But anyway, so going back to the nursery story. So yeah, we spoke a bit, and the nursery manager was telling me, she kind of has some concerns. And she thinks Jaden might. They use might because this is still a boy. I think he had turned 3 by then. Yeah. He's just turned 3. So it's a might. He might have maybe some development delay. Have you spoken to your health visitor? Mind you, I have never spoken to my health visitor for ages. Like, we were in Kenya. So maybe if we were here consistently, something would have been picked out earlier. Yeah. So you see. So yeah, and she was like, we think maybe we should contact the health visitor and see if any health professionals can be involved. So I'm like, health professionals for what?
So did they say for what, or they just mentioned the developmental delays?
They are not like, as you know, people here normally specialize in their fields, okay?
Yeah.
So this lady, she's a nursery manager, so she's not really, she doesn't really have like expertise in this.
Yeah.
What is it called in, let's say, children with special needs. So she just said he might have like some development delays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. And
I think I remember when we spoke at that point, and sometimes I remembered a couple of things in Kenya as well. Then you remember when Jaden was turning 1 year, and he actually mentioned his first words, and immediately after mentioning first words, I think it was Baba.
Why do they always pick you first? Like, it's so fair. Can you imagine?
You had your moment when you are carrying them. So, but then quickly he turned into the baby talk. So we were like, maybe.
And you remember, we even had a house help, and Jaden would be like calling her name, Vayu.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden,
he's back into that baby language.
So we were confused.
Yeah, and I also remember, you remember when we used to go out, and every time we go out, it is like it's the first time he's going out. So he never like had this familiarity with the places. And I remember one day we had ordered a pizza and it was being brought by this guy in the motorbike, and that guy had a play around with Jaden, and he actually told me, you know what, my friend, bro, don't keep this child in the house for too long. Always take him out. Now look the way he is looking at things. And then I was like,
It's like
we
you've never
always,
been out.
we always do this every day. We even go to places.
Yeah.
But every time we are out, it is like
A new
his first time.
experience,
And then he started developing the, challenges, stepping on the floor. So sometimes he could tiptoe when walking.
And he didn't like stones. He didn't like that.
Yeah. And then
that sensation.
he liked that. I don't know, it's stimulation.
And I remember
He
in
hated it so
Kenya
much.
when we tried to put him on grass and,
Yeah.
he wouldn't want to step on the soil. And you
Yeah.
remember people would just make jokes. Rich kid. Those boys in England, he doesn't like such things.
Actually, we did not pick that, but
Yeah.
we thought it maybe
Just a
he'll be used to
baby.
it with the time. Yeah.
So you see, so when the nursery told me that, I was like, okay, let me go home with my baby
Yeah.
and process. Now, I got home. I'm thinking. So I'm looking at him. I'm looking at myself. First you wonder, what am I not doing enough?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my baby. I'm thinking. So I go online. I'm like, let me read about this nursery. Maybe they are picking on us. Us. If you get it, us.
Yeah.
So maybe they are picking on us. So I just go online and I'm like, I start reading the reviews. Now this is the funny part. I go and read the worst reviews. I'm like, you see, this nursery, they don't have time for my baby.
So what you are doing here, you're basically denying that your child might be having some developmental
I'm like,
challenges.
no, these people, they're ignoring my baby. Even you remember, and I was like, even if you look at the class photos,
Yeah.
he's just the only child of color. So maybe they don't have time for him.
So yeah, you might look for the easiest thing
Yeah,
to
you're
point
looking for the
fingers at.
easiest things, So what did I do? I found a new nursery. And I moved my baby to a new nursery and I was like, let me go and try somewhere else. I just left, I didn't even take him that month. I paid the fees and I left the fees there, because here they have these policies where you have to pay the fees in advance. Paid and I took my baby to the next nursery, So we went to the next nursery.
Yeah.
He was there. I was happy because, hey, the first month, the nursery hasn't called me. So I'm like, hey, things are going well. These people, they had a problem with my baby. The second month, hey, then the third month-ish, fourth apple, I just hear a phone call and I pick it up. I actually thought, Jaden was sick.
Yeah.
Because normally they call immediately to go pick them up. No, guess what?
What?
Would you want to come in for a meeting?
You're back to square one. Discussing gender development issues again.
So I'm a very positive person. So I was like, I just want to go and tell me how he's been doing. Hey, he's new at the nursery. We haven't had a really good talk, parent and the nursery team.
I remember this time I'm asking you, how is my boy doing in nursery? And you're like, he's all right.
He's doing.
He's doing the doing.
He's doing. He's there doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
So they just telling me, your boy, actually, we think we're a bit concerned.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're a bit concerned. About what? So basically, I'm playing a fool because I know what they're going to say next. But I'm like, about what? So they be like, we think he might. Once I had the might, I was gone.
And all this time,
Jaden
at home, he hasn't shown anything out of ordinary. He is following his routines.
Now, then, of course, I would say he was okay. But knowing what I know now and having studied psychology and everything, no, that wasn't normal. But I know that now.
There's a story you told me about this boy at home. He was very, very particular. He'll get out from the school. The shoe that he had with the school, he'll remove it and put it at a specific place.
That's a good thing for a parent.
At home, he'll take a different shoe and wear. And when the time comes for you to replace these shoes because maybe they are worn out, they are old,
Just difficult.
the boy would not let go of them.
No, he wouldn't. He was so attached to things. Like, I had to buy these shoes, same color, same mark. If it had a mark down here, sometimes you have to go and make the mark down there. Because let me tell you, Jaden's eyes were really good. He'd just come, let's say this is his shoe, pick up the shoe, look at it.
Yeah.
Look at you. Because he wasn't speaking. Throw it.
Throw it away. Don't play those games with
Don't
me.
play.
I know my things.
Don't play those games. I know my thing. This is not the shoe I was wearing yesterday. Mind you, it's actually same color, same type of shoe I bought from the same store where I bought the other one. But then he's like, no. So I think I kind of suffered financially.
So what was his average time of accepting new products?
Now, what I used to do, I used to try and play smart. So Jaden's shoes, he kind of didn't wear them till they were worn out sometimes.
Yeah.
They were like at the verge, so they are good-ish, you know. So I'd go and try and replace it at that time. Because once they get worn out, you're not replacing nothing. Because, you know, worn out is now a new look.
Yeah, and if they're out of stock in the market?
Oh, this shoe had to be in stock.
Oh, and to you.
This shoe had to be in stock. I'm telling you, I even one day went on Facebook and I posted and I was like, does anyone have this or this type of shoe? I don't care like second hand, what it looks like. I'm looking for this shoe. It has to be this shoe, you see?
Yeah.
But then to me, I was like, hey, I'm also very particular with my things, you know. I like my things a certain way, so it's just taking after money. Fine. So I just used to go with the swing because, hey, I'm here taking care of 2 kids with no support and everything.
Yeah.
I don't have time to worry. Why does Jaden like, you know, coming from school, removing his shoes, putting it here? To me, he's a very good boy, you know?
You did what you have, or you had to do. And
simple.
To be honest, from where I started, I think I could not have done it any better.
I tried, if I'm honest, I tried.
From early on, let me tell you, one thing which has kept these boys, it is the love.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think the love that you give these boys, sometimes I even sit on the sidelines just to watch it and admire it because it is so beautiful.
I know.
You know, and fulfilling.
It is, like, for me, motherhood.
Yeah.
Let me say, it has kind of been like a healing process for me. Like, let me say, I am that mother who I didn't have, you know, basically. So for me, I don't even have words. It's very personal. It's very personal when it comes to motherhood. Like, many people will tell you, if you want to get on kids' wrong side, just mess with those boys or just say something.
No, you're amazing.
Yeah, because these kids, you know, anyway, and also we've come very far from them. Like, why would you let anyone mess with them?
Anyway, before I get you teary, let me get you back to the second nursery has raised the concerns.
I'm like, okay, so that's what you think. Fine. I left with no notice. Get on the baby.
Vamos. Okay, to where?
See, to do research.
On another nursery?
Now this time, let me tell you something, guys.
Okay.
I don't just look for any nursery. I look for a Christian nursery.
Holy Spirit, help me.
That is what I look for. So I look for a Christian nursery.
Okay.
Not just any nursery. Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
Oh, let me tell you something. The reviews were good. They were perfect. So this, because it's a Christian nursery, I'm like, okay, I'll not only sign up Jaden.
Yeah.
Justin as well might go. But that's Justin is just a different story. He was still a baby, so he was fine. So we go there and Jaden is doing fantastic. And I love this nursery because, wow, it was so diverse. Like, once you come to the doors, there was the greetings from everywhere in the world. Kenya was even there and all that stuff. So,
So you felt this is home?
Yeah.
Good.
There were kids of all.
And that's a very good feeling for a parent, taking your child to where you feel they'll be looked at in the best way possible.
It's just the effort from the nursery, because every morning when we went there, you know, the nursery manager was like, Jumbo, and
oh, wow, amazing.
It's the little things that make you feel like home. So for me, I was home. My boys seemed to be doing okay. Now, this is the weird part. The other two nurseries and this nursery, Jaden was happier. But this nursery, because it's a church nursery, they tend to be bigger. So the spaces are bigger. The classes aren't like, some classes here are like divided. Like, so there's 2 classes in one. This one was just a big like open space. So I think that is what made him happy. Yeah, and he seemed to be fine.
And when you say Jaden was happier, what do you exactly mean?
In the other nurseries, when I picked him up, he was, just Jaden. But then, Jaden, when he's happy, he's jumping around. When I pick him up, he's eating his lunch. He's done Jaden. Yeah, so it seemed to be going fine. Then...
I know what you're going to say.
I received the call. But then with this call, I think this nursery had done research. So these people were not taking chances with this woman.
Just like the way you were not taking chances with the nursery was also not taking chances with you.
You know what they did? They called me for the meeting.
Okay.
I went. Guess who I find there? The nursery manager, a few other nursery assistants. This is a big nursery, so there are many people involved. And then, guess who else is there?
Psychologist?
There's a psychologist there. These ones, they didn't even call me and give me like that talk. They called me, had an action plan. So when I was going there, I was already boxed, Your child has a problem and this is what we are doing.
And, and I think that is a good thing of having a system which identifies a problem and they actually come in with a suggestion. So they are not calling you to question you as a parent or to try to pin you down, you're a bad parent.
No.
They're actually calling you to help.
And in fact, the reason why I'm going to praise this Christian nursery throughout my whole life is because they made me feel everything was normal. So by that I mean, they were like, we understand people from different backgrounds have a different understanding when it comes to autism.
Yeah, true.
Hey, well, then I didn't care about all that statement. All I had was autism. I'm like, okay, development delay, autism. Now, what are you guys playing at? But they were really lovely. The psychologist actually had spent some time with Jaden when I wasn't there, like an hour before.
Yeah.
And she had like seen how Jaden plays. And so when I was coming in for the talk, she had like kind of a little assessment she had done. So she was just going through it with me slowly. Let me tell you, this woman gave me assurance which kind of made me feel good and kind of confident I can deal with this situation-ish. Yeah, but it was a really tough one. Let me tell you, Mchi, it was a very tough one because you just know, okay, in the world we live in right now, there's still a lot of superstitions and stigma when it comes to autism and development delay. Maybe you're paying sins of your situation, maybe you're doing what, So it was difficult, but that's when I came to you and I was like, you know what? This is what they're saying. So how did you... were you perplexed?
So,
like me, how did you process it? Like,
I remember that time, and of course, when you and the boys left, like I told you, the house was most of the time so empty. In fact, the boys' room, I never stepped there until when my sister visited, and my sister visited my due after like 6 months, and she was like, why is everything upside down in this place? I'm like, I have never gone to that room since, And I actually went back home that time when you told me about it, and I sat by myself. I did not tell no one, and because I felt I felt no one is going to understand about this.
Me, it felt like us telling anyone we're going to be judged. Mind you, we had like gone to live in different worlds as a family. Okay, so we were already judged before. Okay, guys, we were already judged because we met in England, but then whatever happened, and we were living in different... So it was really tough.
It was tough.
It was really tough.
Yeah, it is tough chasing love and family in different regions.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, when it comes to the mind of many people, it's like, you know what, you guys,
Yeah.
just get someone else and move on. But it's not that simple.
It's not that easy.
So the situation was very
Yeah.
hopeless and helpless.
Basically.
As a man, sometimes, as a man, you feel you want to be there for your family and you want to support them.
I remember you
but-
even give me suggestions. Try this.
yeah, and now the problem is the person I'm giving suggestion to is someone who is very, very crushed, and sometimes because it's our child and we want the best for him,
Yeah.
we forget about ourselves and how we are coping with all this, because the mental health now is upside down, and it was very, very tough moment, very sad,
Yeah.
heartbroken. Sometimes I started even wondering. I remember asking you, okay, do you think he'll ever talk? Do you even think he'll ever have a normal life? And all these questions did not have an answer.
They didn't.
So when I think about a week or two, when I'm now very composed, I had a chat with my friend Ken. You know Ken.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Ken and Shem what I'm going through, and these men, they are amazing, you know, because when Ken and Shem talk to you, they are going to give you this hope, and the way they create the illusion of hope, it actually made me feel like I'm with you guys,
Yeah.
and don't worry about the diagnosis or anything. The boy will turn around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they give you a lot of examples of people who have gone through these kind of challenges. And then I remember now when we started talking with you and starting, you know, saying, you know what? Well, he looks fine. We can do this.